All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Verse My Diz Comics, where we attempt to read all of the mainstream Marvel comics, breaking down the good, the bad, and the batshit insane 10 comics at a time. My name is Arden, and with me, at the couch beside me, is my co-host Sebastian Villanova. Hello, how's it going?
Pretty good. How's it going?
It's not too bad. How'd your week go? Do anything fun?
Absolutely none. Trying to read.
Yeah, I guess we can just get right into it. We are starting with issue number 11 of the Order, again off of the Complete Marvel Reading Order website, CMRO, Travis Starnes. Let's just get into it. So this issue is called Amazing Fantasy number 14.
Number 14. Specifically, The Man in the Sky.
Right. I don't remember reading this the first time around.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is a super short one. It's not going to take a long time to cover.
No, not at all.
Basically, it's about this kid who's got mutant powers. First appearance of mutants.
In the comics.
Basically, this kid figures out that he has mutant powers. His father was like an atomic tester or something?
Yeah, and then I guess like the radiation from the father rubbed off on the child. And
right.
He developed mutant powers from that.
Right. So this kid can do like everything. He can like read minds. He has telekinesis. Actually, he's basically Professor X.
Basically, yeah. Now that I think about it.
Except he's not bald.
No. Well, then again, neither was Professor X at the beginning. So.
I don't know if that's true in the comics.
Is it not?
I don't know for sure. But anyway,
I guess they would. Yeah.
So he's doing his thing. It's already like. Mutant hate is already just in there. Like, kids are attacking him.
Well, it wasn't like... It was more of like he didn't really realize the full strength of his powers, and he's like, I gotta share this with the rest of the world, and that's when everybody was like, yeah, mutants suck.
Yeah.
You can read my mind, and I don't like that, so screw you.
Which I guess is kind of fair. You don't want people quoted your thoughts.
It's definitely fair, but...
either way, they start beating up on this dude.
Yeah.
And so the mutant leader... who is not Professor X.
No. He's just a face right now.
Yeah. He just kind of... He levitates him?
Yeah, he basically, makes him fly, basically.
Right. Over to...
wherever they are.
Yeah,
you never really see where he flies to.
Right. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. The only real notable thing about this issue at all is the fact that there are mutants in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was like a test run for the X-Men.
X-Men or mutants in general.
Right. But either way, there's just not a lot here.
No, it's not a lot.
That means I don't think it's bad.
I don't think it's a bad story.
It's
not a bad story. It's short for what it is, but it's like 5 pages or something. Yeah, it's definitely a decent read.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars.
I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah. It's for me. It's just like it. It wasn't long enough to really be.
No, it
really
wasn't
good,
it wasn't impactful.
But, right. I guess that's all. Unless you have something else you want to talk
about.
Honestly,
really
nothing there.
Not really a lot to talk about in this one.
Yeah. So
on to the next
moving
one.
Right on. Fantastic Four number 5. Really significant issue here in the first appearance
of Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom. Probably the best Fantastic Four villain.
Hands down, best Fantastic Four villain.
I mean, Galactus is up there as well.
Well, yeah, but he hasn't been introduced yet. So
he's a ways out.
That's why I'm not counting him.
Okay. All
right.
We open with Dr. Doom. Yep. He's going to destroy the Fantastic Four. Why? I don't remember. Maybe you do.
He wasn't trying to destroy them. He was just trying to capture them at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, maybe he had a plan to destroy them at some point, but I know for a fact he went over there just trying to capture them.
Right.
That was his plan.
So, that would make sense. Yeah, considering it happens later.
Yeah.
So, we go to the Bachelor building. Next Marvel Fourth Wall. Johnny's reading the Hulk comic.
That caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know if at this time they really thought that they were going to join everything together.
Yeah, I don't think... Probably not.
Because it seems like at this point they're 2 separate universes. Yeah. Although there was last week, Johnny was reading a comic about Namor, and he was right there. So who knows?
So who knows how this works? Maybe Namor... Well, wasn't Namor like a huge thing in like the past?
He was the Hulk. I guess that would make sense.
Him?
Yeah.
So Namor thing would make sense, but the Hulk thing is just so out of the blue. I don't even understand. Whatever.
So there's some squabbling as normal.
Always between Johnny and Ben. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. Like to me, Ben is just like a child. I don't know.
Both of them are. I think Ben is the only smart one in a lot of instances, and his character is like the only one that makes sense a lot of the time.
I don't know. In a lot of these previous Fantastic Four ones, he just seems like all he wants to do is just hit people, and that's how he wants to solve everything. Like,
yeah, I mean, if that's your power set, I guess. Like,
it's just like he can do so much more than just I'm gonna hit you now.
Well,
and that'll be
at this point, though, also you have to take into consideration the fact that he's kind of lost everything else. And so right now he's like, I'm big, I'm orange, I'm a pile of rocks, I'm going to smash everything.
I mean, you have a point, but it's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
well,
all I have to say about that.
Either way, power cuts out.
Yep.
And Doom just like drops a giant net.
Ginormous. Enough to cover the entire building.
Right.
Huge net.
Like this thing is, I think, about 40 stories high.
Yeah.
And it just covers the entire thing.
Covers the entire thing.
So, I think Doom, he doesn't say his name, but I think he just is talking to them.
He's just talking, and Reed recognizes his voice,
right,
and then like basically tells Doom's backstory.
We should mention that Doom is not in the building right now. He's in like a plane.
He's in like a
helicopter or something. It's got like a shark drawn on its face.
I don't know. It was kind of like a mix between a jet and a helicopter.
Right. It's super quick, but it looks more like a helicopter. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Reed is like, hey, I know that guy. So I'm sure, did they even really go into, because I haven't watched the Fantastic Four movies in ages, and I haven't even seen the most recent one. Did they go into his backstory at all in the movies?
They did in the very, very first one. Like
2005 or something.
2005 something. But it wasn't the same as the comic.
Okay.
Definitely, no, it was not.
So, either way, regardless, this is definitely not the same.
No.
So Victor Von Doom is his real name.
Yep, it is.
He is... The thing that I think probably carried over is he's a super smart, like, science guy.
Yeah, he was a super smart science guy. He worked with Reed.
Right, in college. I think primarily is where that started.
Yep.
I think in the movies, wasn't he part of the team?
He was part of so in the movie, he was part of the team that went up into space.
Right.
And that they all got hit by the cosmic rays. In the comic, he was just obsessed with black magic. And I guess he pushed his experiments too far, and like, was it like an explosion?
It exploded or something.
It exploded in his face and like horribly disfigured his face.
And that's why he always wears the mask.
Yeah, and so like I think it was in college at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they like expelled him from college, and he basically just went on like a journey,
like a self-exploration kind of thing.
Not even self-exploration. He was just trying to find more
magic,
powerful black magic. So it was just like a journey into Tibet.
I will say, it doesn't make sense here. They do flesh it out a lot later. And I'm just gonna briefly get into it here. He's the son of a gypsy, so that's why he's kind of involved with all this black magic stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So then Doom is still talking to the Fantastic Four, and he's like, yo, give me Sue, basically. He's like,
I need her as a hostage.
Right. That way, if you, like, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So, she, like, it's really weird. I think there is a roof hatch, right?
In the building?
On the building, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, there has to be roof access.
Yeah, there has to be.
Instead of going up the stairs to the roof access, Sue climbs out the window and climbs up the giant net on the outside of the building. Mm-hmm. Why?
Who knows?
Why?
Dude, I feel like they overthink it at the time.
Yeah, because I've been reading a lot of these things. I was like, there's so many other simpler solutions. So Sue is like, okay, I'll do it so I can kind of see what Doom's powers are.
Yeah. After that, basically, he captures her, and then he's like, all right, now you three come up, and I'm going to capture you guys and take you back to my base.
Right. And you can't attack me, otherwise I'll kill Sue. But I don't think that really... I don't know if that's 100% accurate. I think they could probably figure out a way to get her back and just, like, take him out.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they go to hear him out based on curiosity, but, like...
Yeah, Reed was basically like, let's just go and hear him out. Like, let's not try to provoke anything. He has Sue.
Right.
Which...
I mean, I guess they're engaged, so...
Yeah.
That makes a bit of sense. But either way, they go to the base. I don't think it's established, but Doom lives in a fictional country called Latveria.
I don't think it was established yet.
It was not said.
He was in a castle, though. Right. His base is a castle.
Right.
So...
They're sitting there. Doom's giving him a mission while a pet tiger is just chilling.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's about.
Pet tiger, I don't understand.
This is where we get a little bit crazy. Because this This issue is bananas. Like
I enjoyed this.
It's
next
fun.
part.
I like it, but it's crazy. Yeah, this is where things get kind of insane.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, Doctor Doom is like, I'm gonna send you into the past with my time machine that's just on the floor.
Well, didn't he say that you guys designed the time machine? I swear he said you designed you finally discovered the best, like, technology, a time travel machine.
I don't
swear he said, like...
No, I don't know.
That's what confused me, because then all of a sudden, he had the time machine. I was like, wait, what? Whatever. I don't know.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not so sure, though, man.
You keep on talking. I'm gonna find this.
Okay, so he's basically like, okay, I need you to go into the past using this time machine that's just on the floor of my castle, and you're going to go back, get Blackbeard's treasure. You have to get it back to me in a certain amount of time. And if you guys fail, I will let Sue go. That's basically what he says. He's like, I only need her as hostage for you guys.
If he succeeds, not if he fails. He said if they fail.
Did he say that? You can check that, I guess, as well. Because I'm pretty sure he was like, I have no need for Sue. So, like, regardless, if you guys are not able to do it, I'll just release her.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that part at all. Dang.
So, okay. So, a bit of an issue here with the time machine stuff. It's a time machine.
It is a time machine.
So why... Because he's like, I think he's like, you have 48 hours to get this treasure back to me.
Yeah, 48 hours.
But if it's a time machine, it shouldn't matter, right? Because they can just take however long they need, and he can just bring them back in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
This is the 60s, so I can forgive a little bit of this.
Yeah,
but
they hadn't established really how time travel works, I guess.
Nobody's actually ever time traveled, so we still don't really know how it works.
No, technically no.
But, I have successfully developed the most incredible invention. Okay. So it is Doctor Doom who does it.
Okay, it is Doctor Doom then.
And then, check the Sue as well. Hang on. Back a page?
Back a page.
Maybe right here. If you don't return, swear you set Sue free.
Okay. Reed says it, though. He doesn't...
Right. Okay, sure, yeah. So, they're like, okay, we're in the past now.
Yeah.
We need some clothes. And a couple of pirates just walk by and they say, hey, we just stole some clothes, pretty much.
Yeah, it was in this, like, just in a sack, and...
Right.
The thing scared them off, and they were like, oh, nice, perfect, boots and clothes.
Got him.
They dress up, they dress the thing up in, like, this pirate attire by giving him a beard and eye patch.
So they can cover his face, so he's not,
basically, so he can't scare everybody away.
So then they go like bar hopping.
Yeah, bar hopping, and then
they get drugged, correct?
Drugged by pirates, and they're like, we're gonna sneak you, now you're part of our pirate crew when they wake up. And then the thing basically just like breaks through the floor, yanks, I guess, the captain of that pirate ship.
That was a cool scene. It like showed his eye, he was waking up, and then he just smashed through it.
Yeah, and they all proceed to
They take the ship pretty damn quick.
They proceed to fight the pirates, and then as soon as they finish attacking, they then get attacked by another pirate crew.
And it looks like it could be Blackbeard.
Blackbeard's
ship. It's a big ship.
Big ship.
I think it's the torch that flies off first and starts attacking them.
Yeah.
And then Reed stretches between the two ships and just lets all the pirates run across his back.
With the thing that tore off the mast of that original ship.
Yeah.
I feel like
his back would break.
Not break. He's rubber, so it wouldn't break. But I feel like his body would definitely hold up way
because they're not doing one at a time. They're all going at the same time.
Oh, they're all going at the same time. Actually, here he says, "Hurry up, thing. My back feels like it's breaking." So I guess
just because you call it out does not mean it's okay.
No,
it still doesn't work. They take out
the fight.
They take out the other ship. They get the treasure, and then all the crew is like, all hail Blackbeard to the thing, because his beard is black.
Yep.
Plot twist, Ben is Blackbeard. Legendary pirate, the Thing.
The Thing. Because they went back in time, they were like, I guess, how did they explain it? The thing is Blackbeard. He came back to the past to find himself.
Yeah.
So they never actually, I guess they stole technically treasure.
Right.
But since it was always Blackbeard's treasure...
I think Reed even says the treasure was yours the entire time.
It's basically, they're like, it's our treasure.
Right. So...
They basically empty out all the jewels in the treasure chest, and they just fill it with chains.
That's not how things work. Like,
well,
it is partially true that Doom was like, bring the treasure chest back, but earlier he said also, bring me the treasure. So
he needed the treasure, but they were trying to trick Doom, is the thing.
But Reed even says, we promised to bring the treasure chest back, but not the actual treasure, so we're fine.
Well, I think he said, Doom didn't tell them specifically that he needed the treasure. I think he told Sue them, or he thought about it, that he needed the jewels.
So I went back and checked after I read this.
Did you?
He did say treasure chest once, that was the last thing he said, but he also said treasure on 2 separate occasions before that. So it's a loophole that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
But so Ben is like, hey, I'm actually liked here. I don't want to leave.
Then all of a sudden, they're attacked by like a storm.
Yeah, it's like a water tornado just kind of shows up.
Out of nowhere.
It destroys the ship entirely.
Oh, it destroys everything.
And like Johnny's about to drown, and like everything's going crazy.
I guess because he can turn into fire, he can't swim, or he was never able to swim.
I just think he's not able to swim, yeah.
From the very beginning.
So they're all washed ashore, and then Ben is like, yo, I was an idiot. I'll go back, I guess, anyway, because now his like beard got washed off, so he's like, I guess I can't be Blackbeard anymore. Even though it was a fake beard in the first place.
Man.
So, conveniently, everybody washed ashore at like the same exact spot. It's like Game of Thrones syndrome.
Yeah. That's how you want to explain it?
Yeah. And the treasure chest also just happened to wash ashore right there. At that exact moment, Doom is like, hey, they've had enough time. I don't think it's actually been 48 hours at this point.
I honestly don't think so.
They've had enough time. Like, we'll bring them back. So, they go back to the present.
They go back to the present. They're like, here's your treasure. He's like, wait, this isn't treasure, these are chains.
Right.
And then Thing just smashes him in the face.
Right. It's a Doombot. First appearance of a Doombot.
Yep.
It looks like Dr. Doom, he's a robot. So Doom kind of then talks about, he's like, yeah, these gems were actually Merlin, the magicians, and they had the power of immortality, or not, it's not immortality, it's invincibility.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, haha, I tricked you when you thought you were tricking me. I'm going to take all the oxygen out of this room now.
He proceeds to do that.
Yeah, and I guess they're in a different room than they were when they started, because Sue and Doom are still in another room.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
Sue's like, I gotta save these guys. Turns invisible. I don't understand really what happens next.
She basically presses a button that makes all the other panels explode for some reason.
Right. But then she still has to go press another button.
They explode in Doom's face, and then she has to go to the room where the other 3 are.
Right. Find a secret panel.
And open the door so that air can be let in.
Right. And so, in the chamber, they're all freaking out. Ben, I think, is even like, I'm going to crush through the ground. Maybe there's some air in the ground.
Yeah, something like that.
Sue rescues them, and they all kind of escape. Reed, like, stretches himself through this barred window.
Yeah.
And he like ties himself to a rock.
And then he tells Ben to push the wall out.
Right. So I think he ties himself to the bars,
and then the rock
grabs onto a rock, and then Ben just pushes. But I don't know why he couldn't have just pushed it in the first place.
Yeah, without Reed there.
Right. Because we've seen him do.
Yeah.
Like the first scene of him in the first issue is him busting down a wall. So
see, I didn't understand that one very much either, but maybe it was to like help him, I guess. Maybe Ben couldn't do it by himself or something. I don't know.
So then Johnny is like, I'm gonna be super hot.
He turns the water into glass so they can cross the moat filled with alligators.
Is it filled with? I don't think I noticed that.
It was filled with alligators, yeah. That's why they didn't want to swim across it in the first place.
I mean, Johnny also apparently can't swim, so...
Well, yeah, but the other... who says the other 2 can't?
I think Johnny then tries to, like, smoke Doom out. He, like, lights the castle on fire.
He encircles the castle in flames to try and smoke Dr. Doom out.
Right.
So, Dr. Doom reveals he has a jetpack.
Yeah, just flies away.
And he flies out. Torch tries to chase him, but Doom was like, you can't chase me, your flame's already about to go out. And so, at that exact moment, his flame goes out, conveniently. And I guess
he gets away.
I guess he catches a tree.
Yeah, I think he said something like, I need to keep enough flame to slow my fall.
Yeah.
And then I guess he just, like, was able to catch the tree.
And Doom gets away, and that's...
Right.
And that's basically it.
So, where did you put this?
I gave it a 4.
Okay. That's where my gut was telling me to go. Because it's probably around that.
Yeah.
Like, the time travel stuff is silly as all hell. It's weird.
It's silly, but it was enjoyable.
That being said, it's Doctor Doom. Even if the story was shit, I'd probably give it 5 stars. That's what I gave it.
No,
I had
Doctor
to give it that
Doom
extra star.
Doctor Doom was great.
He's a good villain.
He's a great villain.
There's a reason why he's still around today. So that's where that was. That's the end of that one. All right.
Next one.
Amazing Fantasy 15.
Number 15.
First
appearance of Spider-Man.
The best Marvel character.
Best Marvel. This was a great read.
I don't know what it is about Spider-Man, but people just somehow managed to nail him so well.
This was so good.
Like, even when Stan Lee goes off the writing and terrible writers take it off, they somehow manage to be super great. Let's start this off. I mean, let's be real. You know the origin of Spider-Man.
Yeah, everybody knows the origin of Spider-Man.
It's the exact same here.
If you've seen the first Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire,
it's the exact same.
You know the origin of Spider-Man. It's the exact same.
Peter Parker. He's got his aunt and uncle, Aunt May, Uncle Ben.
Yep, like always.
I hate Aunt May. I'm just gonna put it out there.
They drew her like a really frail old. Like
she looks like she's dead.
Yeah, she looks really old.
It's just I don't like her, and there's some weird stuff.
Like I didn't like her
way
artwork
down the line
very well.
Yeah. This was drawn by Steve Ditko, not Jack Kirby. So this is the other one of the big Marvel 3. It's Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko.
I liked the art on this a lot more than the Fantastic Four ones.
I'm gonna be honest, Spider-Man looks a little bit weird to me.
Really? I loved the way
he's drawn kind of lumpy sometimes.
I don't know.
The design itself is great.
Yeah. I don't know. I loved the way he was. This entire thing was drawn.
Fair enough.
It was just amazing.
So Peter's like, "Hey guys, want to go to a science exhibit with me? Like, we can have some fun with my pals." They all hate him. They're like, "Yo, dude, you're the worst.
You're the worst. You're a nerd. You're not as cool as us."
So he goes to a science exhibit. That's where he's bitten by the spider.
Bitten by the radioactive spider.
So
Pete gets sick. He goes home and
gets run over by a car or something.
He almost gets run over by a car. He jumps out of the way, but onto a building, and he proceeds to climb the building. Gets to the top within seconds, and then he grabs a pipe and crushes it like paper.
Right,
as he says.
Right. So he's like, "I need some money. Let's try wrestling."
Yeah, he sees like a wrestling thing. He's like, no, it wasn't about the money. He was like, I want to see how far my strength goes.
Okay.
So he saw the wrestling thing. He's like, I can try doing this.
Right.
And so he goes home, puts on some old clothes. He's like, I don't want to be embarrassed if I lose. So he puts on a mask.
Right. So he beats the guy. He beats this other wrestler by the name of Crusher Hogan. An agent approaches him, and then he's like, "Hey, we can put you on like TV shows and stuff. We'll get you tons of money. You'll be famous." Yeah. So this is when he designs the actual Spider-Man costume.
The web shooters.
Makes the web shooters, which that's like I love that. I love the web shooters. I hate the organic web. Really? I love the web shooters.
You didn't like the Scarlet Spider organic web thing?
I've never read any of Scarlet Spider stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure. I never read it either. I just know from some shows and stuff, like the old Spider-Man shows.
Yeah. I think it's really elevates Peter's character and shows how smart he is when he actually designs it himself.
That's fair. That's fair. He does this was anybody else and not me, they wouldn't be able to design all this stuff.
And I think it's made out of like liquid cement. I think it says.
Yeah, he says like, I'll put a little bit of liquid cement
on the ends.
On the end so that it sticks to things, and I can climb up it and stuff, and whatever.
He gets on this TV show. He's like instantly famous. He is doing this thing, and a thief runs past him. Mm-hmm. The police are like, "Yo, like help us out, Spider Guy. Like, do something." He's
like, "No, it's not my job. I'm not going to be told what to do anymore."
Right.
So in the movie, it wasn't like he wasn't offered a TV show or anything. It was actually. When he defeated Crusher Hogan, although I don't know in the movies it was called Crusher Hogan, he went up to like the office to get paid, and on his way leaving, the thief escapes, and it was actually, I think it was that agent that approaches him in the comics, asked him, why didn't you do anything? He's like, it's not my job. Right.
I know in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, it was Peter goes into a gas station, and he doesn't have enough money to buy milk, so the guy behind him robs the store and then like throws him the milk. Yeah. And then Uncle Ben just happens to be on the street and he just shoots him.
Yeah. It was a very different origin in Amazing Spider-Man.
I hate that movie. I'm sorry.
Andrew Garfield.
I like him as Spider-Man, but I don't like him as Peter. He's too cool.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So either way, Peter comes home a couple of days later. Police are swarming the house.
Yep.
His uncle is dead. He was shot.
He was shot by it was a burglary, I think they said.
Right. So Peter goes to the warehouse where he's holed up and stops him. And he realizes that it's the same guy who he didn't stop.
Yeah.
So from there, that's his whole, like, with great power comes great responsibility lesson.
He basically blames himself for it, like, what the heck.
And then he's like, I gotta do good stuff. I gotta help people out now. This is a classic, like, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's gotta be 5.
I gave it a 5.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even question it. I just put 5.
Absolutely.
I was like,
it's gotta
amazing.
be 5. Yeah.
I freaking loved it. It was a great origin story.
It only gets better. Spider-Man only gets better.
Does it?
Yeah.
I haven't... Oh, man. I can't wait for more Spider-Man, honestly.
Yeah, it's the best. So, on to the next one. It's called Journey into Mystery, number 83.
These were enjoyable. I like these.
To a point.
It was definitely to a point.
Yeah.
I definitely had problems with it.
There's a point where it just gets a little bit too ridiculous.
But, like, it was...
On the whole, it's fine, though. This is, for those of you who don't know, it's not very common knowledge, but this is what Thor's book was for a while.
This is the first appearance of Thor.
Right.
So,
not a very well-known fact, he has a secret identity.
Yeah. And
it's not just Thor.
He's not just Thor, which is where my problem came in. I was like, okay, I guess...
I understand why they did it, because they want to humanize these characters.
Yeah, I get it.
And he's a literal god. But, so, his alter ego is Dr. Donald Blake. He is a disabled man. I don't know to what extent.
I didn't know he was disabled.
You didn't?
No.
That's what they talk about whenever they say he's lame. They talk about he's lame, he's a lame doctor. That doesn't mean he's just like lame.
I thought it was just because of he didn't show like courage or like he didn't show affection toward anybody. It was just like
in the 60s, lame was another term for disabled, basically.
But then how was he disabled? Because he could walk.
It's like a severe limp in his leg. That's why he's got the cane.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know to what extent he has the issue with, but he has something wrong with his leg, and so he can't really walk too well without the cane. So he's in Europe.
Yep.
I think he's in
Norway.
Yeah, I think he's in Norway.
It was Norway.
And just out of the blue, an alien ship lands behind him right off the bat.
Yeah, he was leaving like this place, I guess.
Yeah,
and as he was leaving, an alien ship silently lands behind him, and 2 stone men
from Saturn.
Stone men from Saturn come from the ship. One of them proceeds to jump down a cliff to show that he's not afraid of like Earth or something, or like to show like its might. I guess.
I think they also shoot some like guns at the trees, and they just like break the trees completely.
Yeah. While this is happening, a fisherman sees them. All this, he goes to the town to like warn people. Obviously, nobody believes him, but Dr. Don Blake,
for whatever reason, does.
He overhears him. He's like, I gotta go check to see if this is real.
I don't understand why, though, because
I think he went to Norway to look for something, I'm pretty sure.
I just thought he was on vacation.
It was kind of this both, I feel like.
Because he lives in New York. He's a doctor. He practices in New York.
Yeah.
So anyway, he finds the stone men.
He finds the stone men.
And they find him.
Yep. And he's like, I gotta get out of here before they kill me.
Right.
So he runs into a cave, hoping to like... Does he like try to hide from him or escape from him?
Yeah, I think it's mainly just hide. But then he must not hide very long because he's like, I can't go back out the same entrance as they'll be there. And
he finds like this boulder that he tries to move, but he's like...
Because it's covering another exit.
He's like, I can't move it. So he sits down on the boulder, and I guess he activated a secret lever, but it like rotates a wall
into a room where there's just a walking stick.
There was a random decrepit-looking twig. It wasn't even like a walking stick.
Yeah.
A twig.
Right. So he just picks it up. He's like, all right.
Picks it up, yeah.
And he tries to use it as a lever to pump up the stone.
Yeah, he tries to use it as a lever to like move the stone. He's like, it's not working. Out of frustration, he smacks the twig against the rock.
It turns into Mjolnir, Thor's hammer.
Yep,
and he turns into Thor.
He turns into Thor, God of Thunder.
Yeah. So there's then like a using his powers montage where he does all this stuff.
Yeah, it was weird.
So here's my biggest issue with Thor for as long as Donald Blake is an element. If the hammer is out of his hands for more than 60 seconds, he turns back into Donald Blake.
Yeah. Or he can like smack it once on the ground and it'll turn him back.
Right. And that's how he also turns into Thor.
Yeah.
This rule is dumb. It's just a cheap way to manufacture tension when there doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
And it's fine to a certain extent for a while, but it just gets so overused.
Like, the 60-second thing is what bothers me. The thing about him needing to smack it, like, whatever. It's a way to transform into his alter ego. But the 60 seconds thing is just... It's kind of dumb, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. So then he experiments with his powers, and this is never really used again after, like, this little run. But he can, like, bang Mjolnir against the ground to, like, make a storm happen.
Yeah.
And then he can do it again. Like, he taps it 3 times to make the storm go away.
I think it's 3 times to
I think it's twice for the storm to turn it on.
Is it? I thought it was 3 and then 2.
I think it's the other way around.
Okay, maybe it is. I don't know. It was definitely 3 and 2.
Yeah.
Though.
Either way, that happens. It's not really used very often.
No.
They use it in, like, the next issue, and then I think it's never brought up again. So then, at this point, the army, like, becomes aware of the Stone Man.
Yep.
They're like, yo, they're here. We gotta take them out.
Because I think they attack one of their bases.
Maybe. Yeah. Either way, I know they send out the Air Force to counter them.
Yeah, and then there's, like, a dragon thing.
Oh my god.
Stonemen.
Yeah, they make, like, an image of a dragon, and it just freaks out the Air Force.
And they all eject from their planes instantly.
But Thor comes in.
Yep.
And he just, like, kind of takes them all out immediately. There's, like, a giant robot that comes out at one point as well, and he takes that out super quick.
Yeah.
And so the Summoner are like, man, this guy is too much for us. We gotta get out of here.
Basically, he's like, they all got afraid that, like, if all the humans are like this, we can't take them on, and so they just leave.
Even though they've had encounters with other humans, and they were not like this.
No, I don't, yeah.
So anyway, Thor turns back into Dawn, and the military show up, and he's like, my secret is safe, but I wonder if I'll ever have to become Thor again.
And that's where it ends.
That's where it ends. That's not bad. It's pretty good.
It was for Thor, for the first Thor, it was good.
Yeah, it was fine.
I liked it. It was just, some of the things were, like, far-fetched for
I think I'd give it probably 3 or 4 just on its own.
Yeah, I gave it 4 for... Did I give it 4? What did I do? Yeah, it was 4.
I mean, for historical significance, I'm going to bump it up to 5 again.
Next one.
Another Thor, Journey into Mystery, number 84.
Number 84, is this the first appearance of, No, it is not. Not yet, I don't think. No, it's the next one.
Okay.
It's the next one. This is the first appearance of Jane Foster, though.
Who is called Jane Nelson in this comic.
She?
I don't. There was one panel, they only revealed her last name once, but it said Jane Nelson, and I was like, that's not right. They changed that later.
Okay, I thought it was always Jane Foster.
Right.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, Jane Foster is Thor's love interest.
Yep.
If you've seen the Thor movies, besides Ragnarok.
Besides Ragnarok.
Yep, yeah. She is in there. They're just like, right off the bat, Don is doing his medical shit.
Yeah.
And Jane is his nurse.
Yes. Yep, that's how...
And they're just pining over each other. Like, Don is like, Jane could never love a disabled man.
Yeah.
And Jane is like, he's too cold and unemotional to ever love me.
He's like, she could never love me because I'm disabled.
Right.
She's like, I would love him if he showed more affection towards me.
Right.
Basically.
I hate this trope in comics so much. It's just...
It's like, if he, like, he's acting cold towards her because he doesn't think she'll like him. She doesn't like him because he's acting cold towards her. And it's like...
I hate the thing where both people love each other and they don't say anything because they're like, the other person
I bet if she just showed affection, everything would go fine.
In fairness, I know it's easier said than done. Either way, it's still just... It's one thing to have it, but they don't ever let it go. Like, they just keep it going for so long.
Oh, yeah. It's a recurring theme between the two.
And it's a subplot that just is
mostly
so
between
bad.
Jane thinking about... It's mostly Jane bringing it up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, they hear word of this communist dictator. Of course, either aliens or communists.
Yep.
By
the name of the Executioner.
Can I make a guess and say that you probably thought this was the cool Executioner from the comics?
I had never heard of this dude before.
Scourge the Executioner? Because there's the other Executioner who's an Asgardian who runs around with the Enchantress.
Oh, yeah, from Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I did not think about that at all.
I did the first time I read this, and I was very disappointed when it was just a random dictator.
Well, they said it was a communist that goes by the name The Executioner.
Right, but on the cover it just says The Executioner.
Oh, I guess that's...
So he's just this communist dictator. He's called The Executioner because of how many people he just, like, executes on the with the fire squad.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of extra wounded because of this dude.
And they needed more doctors.
Right.
So Don volunteers, but Jane goes with him.
Right. And I think Don is like, it's too dangerous.
It's like, he's like, you shouldn't have come with me. It's going to be dangerous. She's like, it's whatever.
The executioner sabotages the ship.
Yep. He basically doesn't want the doctors to get there.
Right. So Don changes to Thor, and he just, like, takes out all the planes that are bombing them.
Yep. Easily. With ease.
Yeah.
Like, no problem.
And then he dives into the water.
I think he was riding one of the planes when he destroyed it. It crashes into the water. He swims to the ship, smacks his hammer on the ship, changes back into the professor. He yells for help, like, I fell in the water while the plane thing was happening. They pull him out. I think this is where Jane makes a comment, like, someone makes a comment about him falling over or something.
Yeah, they're like, it's lucky we found him or something, because he wouldn't be able to swim because he's disabled.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't realize that he was disabled, because they are really beating you over the head with it.
Dude, I didn't understand. I didn't know that's what lame meant.
Yeah, it's true. That's a word's not used now.
Understand? I was like, oh, he's lame. People just don't like him.
So the ship lands, and the doctors all get ambushed by a sniper crew. So Don is like, I can't. I think he said, even if I changed to Thor, I wouldn't have enough time to hunt everybody down here.
He basically is like, I can't see everybody.
Right.
So he creates a storm
with his hammer, which is, I guess, is still a stick right now.
Yeah.
The thunderstorm like gets in their eyes, makes the snipers not be able to see.
Yeah, and
so
they escape.
They just
But Jane gets captured.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. No, because then they run into some tanks.
Oh.
They run into battle tanks.
I forgot about the tanks.
Yeah. And that's where, so Don changes into Thor, and he takes all the tanks out, except for, I think, one. Or one guy or something, and that's the person who captures Jane.
No, maybe. I guess so. Yeah,
so,
alright.
Then they're like, yo, Thor, don't try anything or else we're going to kill Jane.
Yep.
And he's like, alright, fine, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
So he leaves. Jane is taken to the executioner. I guess Don just, like, runs around outside the gates and waits for them to capture him?
I don't really understand. Basically, he just gets captured by them.
Right. But I think it is on purpose.
It was on purpose. It was definitely on purpose.
They capture him, and Jane is like, no, not you too, Don. Like, you're captured.
And so they were going to put him up to the firing squad.
Right.
And the executioner was like, I won't kill him if you promise to marry me.
Right. He's like, I can obviously tell you care about him, so I'll spare his life if you marry me. Which...
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense here.
Yeah.
It made more sense with Namor and Sue last week.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Jane is like, fine, I'll do it, don't kill him. And then Don is like, dude, you're a coward. Come fight me man to man. You can't even beat a disabled man without, like, dropping your weapon.
Yeah, so
I guess the executioner had Don's cane.
Yeah.
He was about to come beat him with it, which is convenient, but oh well.
Whatever.
So Don steals the cane.
Back. He basically just, like, snatches it right out of his hands.
Yeah.
Turns to Thor right in front of everyone.
This is the other big issue I have with this. How? How do they not know? Because, like, it tries to explain it as, like, when he changes to Thor, he stamps the hammer on the ground, and it
creates a blinding
light, so they can't see it. But even if they can't see it,
like,
Thor is there Don is there 1 second, and Thor is there the next.
It's like,
well, how do they not make the connection? And they're like, no, they're like, hey, the doctor's gone, but Thor's there now. Oh no! There's nowhere for Don to have escaped to.
No,
it's just a wall. So so that happens. Then he like drops a tent on the army.
Yeah, that's how he defeats them.
Right, and then
another army appears.
Right.
He uses a lightning strike to make a volcano erupt.
So it can, because the other army, the communist army, is trying to escape.
Yep.
So he uses the lightning to make the volcano erupt so that it will pin them in and force them to fight the other army.
Yeah.
So they're like, even another army is worse than like lava. So I guess the executioner tries to take all the money.
He tries to escape with all the money.
Right.
His army is like, what the heck? This guy's not.
Yeah. He's ditching us, you know?
He's ditching us, yeah.
So they shoot him.
They put him up to the firing squad, basically.
In a supreme irony moment, he is shot down the same way he executed so many others.
Yep.
Everything is wrapped up, and Jane is like, Thor is so muscular, and he's so handsome, and I'm in love with him now. I wish Don was as brave as him.
Yeah.
And that's the end.
That's the end.
I was torn on how to rate this one, because I like about the first half of it a lot.
Yeah, it was kind of like the second half that...
Yeah, I think once the executioner is actually introduced, he's just too generic, and it's just kind of boring.
Yeah, it was...
I gave it a 3, but that's a bit of a stretch for me. It's a tentative 3.
I gave it a 2.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I almost gave it a 2.
Like, it was too meh.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's the end of that one.